Just staring at me like, what are we doing? Yeah, hello, I am Jamie. That's what people call me. That's how I'm known by in the art world. And my friends as well. That's my dog G. I don't know if you can see her, but she's right here. She comes everywhere with me. You sit there. Okay, you want to sit here? I don't know. Anyways. Hi, yeah. I'm an artist. I do tattoos. I paint. I draw. I design. Murals, whatever, anything, art on everything. Every kid likes to make art typically, I think, or at least, I don't know, from what I remember, you know, even if you didn't like it, you were kind of, you know, being told to make art when you were a child, so I just happened to take a liking to it. And my aunt was an artist as well, and so like I was fascinated by her and what she did, and she really early on taught me how to do some watercolors and just was very encouraging, and you know, it's like the whole typical like, oh, these are great, they're better than mine kind of deal, but you know, I was 5 or whatever, so they probably weren't all that great, I'm guessing, but it was just encouraging, right? And so yeah, I just continued to make art, and then in high school, someone in my class offered to buy the painting off me for like, it was like $600, and I was like, oh wow, and I sold it, so I just thought that felt great, and basically I continued on along with that. One of the things that really pushed me along actually was I moved to Vancouver to kind of like pursue art or whatever. I was selling these customized hats that I was making at the store El Cartel, and people were buying them, and yeah, again, I just thought that was great. So like, you know, art isn't always about selling, but when it feels nice when people like want to buy it. They're like, wow, that's great, how much, you know, it just kind of motivated me in certain ways. But I just need to make art either way, all the time, whether I'm getting paid or not. No, I have a wide range of styles. I mean, I guess I take a lot of influence from like graffiti and like cartoons from my childhood and like comic books, surrealism. One of my main like kind of like visions when I make art is like I like old, like rusty, kind of scratched, corroded type of things, you know, as far as textures go. So that's kind of what I visualize a lot when I make art. And my art often is like, I try to make things that aren't necessarily real, but I want them to look tangible. Sometimes when I'm making art, I'll use references here and there, but a lot of times it's coming from my brain, right? Like just forming the shapes with my mind. You know, like this piece right here, which is just sort of like this half man, half dog, glowing creature. So, you know, a lot of my work really, it does have quite a bit of skeleton kind of theme. You know, the skulls and skeletons are not really meant to be spooky necessarily. It's just kind of like to show like the form of the body, like it's like at its basic form, I suppose. That's when I really started drawing those, just to kind of understand like how bodies move and stuff like that with the bones and everything like that. You know, and then a lot of my work recent years was focusing on these old vintage toys, where I've like kind of combined, you know, like toys that exist and put them into scenarios like where they're interacting with each other, and then I would alter them, like I'd put like the third eye with the skull. You know, they often have third eyes or 3 eyes. That to me is a big thing in my art. Eyeballs. The eyeballs, you know, it represents like your consciousness and being thoughtful and everything like that. That's a lot about what my art is to do with as well. But you know, hip hop, everything, like just life really, that's how I make art. Like you make art about anything and everything really. Like I painted motorcycles and cars, and I do murals and helmets, like motorcycle helmets for instance. It's really just about getting your ideas out there. Doesn't matter what the material is. In fact, I've even painted couches before. And I've even designed a couch before too, so I like to think that I can make anything look nice or pretty or chippy or whatever needs to happen, you know? The things I'm gonna be bringing to the show, so it's gonna be like lots of character-based, like small miniature versions of like some of the larger stuff that I do, and possibly some prints. I don't typically do prints, like overall, throughout history, I've been more of a original artwork type of person, so more or less like variations of the art that I've just been working on the last couple of years, but smaller form, yeah.